With a cross stitch, what we're going to do is we're going to take a bite that's from right to left. So we're going to sew from right to left if you're right-handed, but we're going to move from left to right. Now, this is how it's going to go. You're going to put your needle in and you're going to decide on your bite size. Let's say a quarter. You take a bite of a quarter, pull through, and we go to the next side. So now the cross stitch is so that it doesn't move on one line, it moves on two lines. So you're going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now imagine we have two edges here and we want to close them together. So the next stitch is going to be on the other edge, and if you want to keep them consistent, what you're going to do is you're going to look at your initial stitch here, draw an imaginary line, move back your bite size, which is a quarter in this case, and put the needle in and bring the needle out so that by the time the needle is out, it's right underneath this stitch here. So, like so. So with the next stitch, what we now have to look at is this stitch here. If we draw an imaginary line all the way to the top here, we move back the bite size, put our needle in there, and make sure that by the time we come out, the needle is above the most forward point. Like so. And we repeat. Again, this is the most forward point. If we go straight down, we move back or forward the bite size, put the needle in, and by the time we come out, the needle is right underneath the most forward point. And this is how it's going to go. Like so. Now, the nice thing about a cross stitch is that it allows you to join two layers together, but at the same time, it also allows for movement. So if you ever need to close or join two edges together, but you want some movement in between them, then the cross stitch will do that for you. It also covers the raw edge, so it's kind of like an overlocking stitch, and it prevents friction on the edges and therefore fraying of the edges. Now, how much movement it allows is in your control. If you take a smaller bite, but you increase the distance between each stitch, you allow for more movement. But if you take a bigger bite and you decrease the distance between the stitches, you allow for less movement. So let's have a look at that. First, we're going to do smaller bite, bigger distance. Like so. So if I would just try to pull this edge, you can see that this area opens less than this area. Now, let's do a bigger bite and a shorter distance. So, again, if we pull, you can see that this area wants to open up less, whereas this area opens up more, and this area just a little bit more. So, by changing the density of the stitches and the size of the bite, you can control how much movement and how much coverage it gives on the edges. Now you know how to do a cross stitch, aka a catch stitch.